Okay, in this third installment of our video series, we're going to talk about something else, which is adjusting camera settings using the camera's built-in menu system. And that is going to be solely on this control panel here, where you're going to hit the menu button, and the moment you do, you will see the camera's menu system. Okay, so if you look at the actual viewfinder, you see this, which gives you a little bit of idea what you can do here. First of all, you can tell right now that there's no card in there. You can see that we're recording at 1080, probably 1080p. There it is, 60p. You can also see your battery meter. The anti-shake function is turned on. Neutral density is off. You've got f6.4, and your focus is set around 60, and that's your zoom factor. And so that's what you have. Now, if you hit the menu button, you should get this. And this is the first of 3 menu screens. We're not going to go through all of these possibilities because honestly, most of them you really don't want to adjust. But if we use the little button in the middle and push down on it, we can get to recording setup, which is rather important. So if you hit recording setup, you're going to see first that you've got HD versus ST mode. Leave it in HD unless you actually have a real reason to change it. That's going to require a restart. But your format, recording format, that tells you got 1080 60p. And if you hit the button, you can see some of the options that you have available. That's 1080 60p, 1080 30p, which would be 30 frames progressive. Also, if you can go over here, you can go 60i, 1080 60 frames interlaced. And you can also go 24 frames progressive if you want that film look. And of course, you've also got the 720s. You get 720 60p, 720 30p, 720 24p, and another 720 60p. And you've got a few other things. And some of these I've never heard of before, to be honest with you, but you have them just the same. So just to keep it simple, I highly recommend that you leave it on 24 frames. 1080 60p, because that's the most overall good format that gives you the best quality. And so that's recording setup. Now, if you go down, you have a couple of other things. Time code. If you were using time code, that might be useful. The other one that might come up is AV out setup. If you hit that, that will tell you, we'll just go over a couple of these things. Right now, it is giving you SDI and HDMI output. That is important if you're doing a multi-camera shoot because you want either of those active. If you were to go down to SDI out and turn that off, then nothing would come out of the SDI port. So leave that stuff on. But some of these other features, maybe if you want a specific signal coming out of that. So we're going to go back here. Your display setup. Under there, you got your zebra. You can turn that stuff off. You can put a safety zone on your viewfinder so you can see where the edges are. Some of these might be useful, but don't worry about these so much. In fact, yeah, don't worry. One of them that's kind of interesting is video out OSD. That's on-screen display. You'll notice that's on. That's how I'm able to record the actual screen. If I leave that on, it's going to show up in the output of the camera if it's plugged into something else. So let's not do that. Okay, meter level, leave those on. And yeah, those are some things if you think your screen is cluttered. You might turn those off, but please don't leave things in a way that is different than when you got the camera. So I'm going to go back here and go to card functions. And I'm actually going to put a card in because right now it's got that grayed out because there's no card in there. And it just told me the door is open. And let's try this one again. So if I'm in card functions, I now see basically gives you the ability to format a card. And if you do that, it will erase everything that was on the card. And it just so happens that I don't mind doing that now. So I hit the format, and this gives you 2 slots. And I believe that's in slot 1, so I'm going to hit that. It says all data will be erased, and I say yes. And it's going to format the card for me. And that shouldn't take very long. Okay, so why am I telling you to do this stuff? And then I'm just going to hit exit. The simple answer is that when you're doing this, you're going to want to be able to check those settings, and those are the most important ones to check.